Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, get notified new episodes come up throughout the rest of the season. Section 420, Talkin Yankees. You want to catch it, catch the talk, do it by subscribing. So the Yankees, off that thrilling 2-2 series against the Houston Astros at home. Yeah, you like to win a series win at home, but again, two thrilling wins for the Yankees, especially that final game, which included the Aaron Judge 3-run homer in extra innings. To at least get the series tied, which you'll take at that point where the Yankees were down 2-1 in that series, and getting thoroughly dominated in that final game before the Yankee bats finally awoke with the Stanton home run. Of course, then with Judge with the big game-winning home run in extra innings to again perhaps what we see a little playoff preview down the road. But for the Yankees, they after that hosted the Oakland A's, and Oakland, good way to follow up the Houston series is because that was so intense for the Yankees. Oakland coming in as the worst team in baseball at the time, 25-50, drawing less fans at perhaps even at the Tropicana. Which if you could draw less fans at Tampa, that's really an accomplishment by the Oakland A's. And Oakland, just one of those teams out there that's like why do they exist? They get once in a while they have a little good stretch. You have some young players, but never really spend any money, kind of ho humming along. And it's just franchises like that or the Mariners where you like. Why do these teams even exist? But nevertheless, they come in, and Yankees sure glad to see them just kind of, again, take a breather after that intense Houston series. And for the Yankees, giving Jordan Montgomery the ball in the opening game. And, Montgomery, both, pitching well, but also lately getting some Yankee run support. So, again, 2022, a little different for Monty than past Yankee seasons. But for him, didn't really have the best of games. Now, the Yankees did give him an early 1-0 lead thanks to a first inning home run by Anthony Rizzo. And Rizzo, his 20th home run this season. Again, about almost a halfway point of the season so far. And just think of the production they're getting from Anthony Rizzo. And again, the other choices the Yankees had to make during the offseason, and the past maybe considered Freddie Freeman, which again was probably going to cost around $190 million, as well as maybe doing a trade / signing for these same Oakland to get Matt Olson, who's now again with the Atlanta Braves. So again, that probably would have cost about $170 million. So just think of the deal they signed with Anthony Rizzo and the amount of production they get from him. A simple 2-year deal, which he's probably going to opt out after this season if he keeps putting up these numbers. But nevertheless, a much more cost-effective option out there. And again, giving the Yankees some great production, great defense, and just, kind of one of the guys in the clubhouse that's just part of the reason why this team's really gelling this season. So, again, gives Monty an early 1-0 lead, but Monty, unfortunately, the wheels started coming off in the third inning there. Just got slapped around a bunch of singles and doubles, wasn't that sharp. Actually ended up putting up, a 5-spot, Oakland put up a 5-spot in the frame and put Yankees in a 5-1 hole. And you figure maybe a little bit, hey, the Yankees kind of had this big series at Houston. Maybe they let down a little bit. Maybe they'll kind of just let this game just breeze away, and maybe they'll come back for game 2. But no, again, this Yankee team has been just on a different level this season, and you never really got the sense that they were out of it. Just kind of at some point, Oakland, when you're the worst team in baseball, again they came in 25-50. They'll find a way to lose, and the Yankees started chipping away in the fourth inning. Starting with a Stanton home run in the fourth. Followed up by, in the fifth inning, Judge with an RBI single that scored DJ LeMahieu. But really, I guess the big turning point was in the seventh inning with a couple of runners on, down 5-4. Josh Donaldson with a double to left field turns that 5-4 deficit into a 6-5 Yankee lead. And then from the end, the Yankees wouldn't look back. Still in the seventh, again, with a few more runners on. Trevino kind of duplicated the effort, hit a double of his own, scored 2 more runs, give the Yankees a comfortable 8-5 lead, and the Yankees tacked on another one run later on in the game to give them the 9-5 lead, and that would be your final score. But really, I would say probably the story of the game would be Albert Abreu. Again, when the Yankees got back before the season started, trading Abreu to Texas to get that same Jose Trevino, who now not only might be in the All-Star game, the possibility if things break the right way, he might even be starting that game. So you take Trevino, who really, no one even heard of, no one expected much of this season. But part of this, again, just another reason, like Rizzo, part of this special Yankee team, just with his bat and the glove. Again, but he's not one of those guys who's just defensive catch. He's been, getting some big hits for the Yankees, a couple of big home run in Tampa and a couple of walk-off hits, big at-bats for him, all part of that. But funny, the Yankees had to trade Abreu to get him. And then eventually Texas releases on last week, as I mentioned in one of the previous episodes, Brian Cashman getting Albert Abreu back. He actually contributes this game in relief of Monty, gives the Yankees a 2 1/3 inning of scoreless relief. And as well, since he came in, while the Yankees were losing, ends up getting the win. So his first win of the season. So just a great moment for Abreu. Again, he probably bummed out that he got traded from the Yankees, but comes back and is able to contribute a couple of innings of scorer's relief, but gets the win. And the Yankees get off on the right foot on this game, take the first one 9-5, which brought the Yankees to Game 2. And for the Yankees, I guess it's part of the just kind of the relaxed attitude, maybe the confidence of them. Probably the Yankees were most concerned about most of the bench in this game. At least there's one part of the game the Yankees were taking bubble gum and having a little contest of who could throw the most chewed gum into the storm drainage over there. So kind of disgusting. It was like 200 pieces of gum. So that was probably the most exciting thing about the game. But that's actually a close score. So Oakland on the game on the mound decided to go Frank Montas, and he was decent. Went 6 innings for Oakland, only gave up 2 runs and 7 strikeouts. But the Oakland offenses gave them nothing. And the Yankees were able to, get an early lead thanks to an RBI single in the first by that same Trevino RBI single. And then in the second inning, Marwin Gonzalez with a home run gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead. 2 runs with all the Yankees would need in the game. I guess another interesting moment, was in the 8th inning with Boone, upset with some strike calls on Judge. We saw this, before early in the season. Actually ended up getting Boone kicked out of the game, and Boone also got kicked out of the game as well, just arguing the low strike on Judge. Again, the first time early this season was the he's 6'7" sort of deal. So this was the same sort of deal more or less. I don't know if that Boone said the same thing, but again, Boone's always upset with Judge getting the bad side of those low strikes. So a little fireworks there. Now in the 9th inning got a little interesting. Clay Holmes on the mound to get the save. Got 2 early strikeouts for the first 2 outs, so you figure, all right, just be another rocking chair type of save for Holmes. But on a catcher's interference call, Sean Murphy, the catcher, was able to take first base. And interesting enough, the game before, in that 7th inning where the Yankees went ahead, there was actually a catcher's interference call on Giancarlo Stanton, which allowed him to reach first base. So just interesting 2 catcher interference calls on back-to-back games. So how rare is that? So that put a runner at first for Oakland. That same Murphy would end up stealing second. And then after a couple of singles by Stephen Vogt, as well as that Elvis Andrews, who, again, guy's been around forever. You may remember him from back in 2010, 2011 with the Texas Rangers, kind of a bit of a thorn in the Yankees side. He's still hanging on. So he kind of sticks, gives the Yankees another thorn. His RBI single allows Murph to score, cut the run, at least the lead there to 2-1. So, a little edgy there, but then Holmes able to get Kemp to ground out to short to end the game. And again, the Yankees take the first 2 games and that run. Again, since Murph reached base on a catcher's interference call, it was an unearned run. So Clay Holmes, if he wants to start another 30 or 32 game scoreless streak, that's still in play right now. But again, still very early in that situation. So, which then brings us to the Yankees, the final game, an little afternoon matinee at Yankee Stadium there. Now, there was a Cole on the mound. Now, it wasn't Garrett Cole, but no, Oakland went with Cole Irwin against Jameson Taillon. And Taillon a little bit, has been laboring a little bit past, a couple starts. I mean, he keeps getting, a lot of wins and stuff. So, the Yankees at least come out on top. So it's not really glaring, but perhaps the innings, again, the innings starting to catch up with some pitchers like Taillon as well as Nestor Cortez, which is why you're probably going to see what you saw again in Game 2. Again, sorry about to mention that before. And I just had to call on J.P. Sears to start that Game 2. I remember Sears early in the season made his starting debut against the Baltimore Orioles, winning the game, giving the Yankees 5 scoreless innings, and getting out of jams, in the first and second inning of that game. So getting gutsy there, and this game just as good. Went 5 2/3 of the inning in that Game 2 before giving up no runs. So again, just to go to show that they're gonna have to start bringing up some of these young guys, a spot start once in a while. So you're gonna probably see J.P. Sears come up a few times, maybe at point, as well as Ryan Weber, who, remember that one game where Severino came down with COVID. And they had to basically give Ryan Weber a major league contract for one game, able to give the Yankees some quality relief in that game, but right after the game, designated for a sign. Well, the Yankees brought him back on a major league contract, so Ryan Weber, back with the Yankees. So again, you're going to have to see this with the Yankees. It's going to need some extra starters to throw some innings there for them again, because other than Garrett Cole, the other 4 starters aren't really stretched out for a full season of baseball work. So that's why you're going to see some of these young guys. But to the game itself, now Taillon got cuffed up a little bit in the first inning, thanks to a couple of doubles, put the Yankees in an early 3-0 hole. But Aaron Judge got the Yankees right back. Bottom of the first inning, 2-run home run, his 29th of the season. Cut the deficit to 3-2. But the big blow of the game was in the third inning with 2 runners on. Giancarlo Stanton with a 3-run home run, which turned again a Yankee 3-2 deficit into a 5-3 Yankee lead. That ended up being the final score of the game, where Taillon finally buckled down a little bit. Didn't have his best stuff, but was able to at least give the Yankees 5 innings to qualify for the win. From there, they just held on. Clay Holmes coming on the ninth, seals it. And for the Yankees, when Judge and Stanton, this season 9-0 when they both hit a home run, and all time this for them being teammates, the Yankees are 25-1 all time when those two hit home runs. So the Yankees can close that final game out, get the sweep against the Oakland A's. Again, a team that coming in the worst team in baseball, and no reason why you shouldn't sweep them. Again, only maybe look at some of these takeaways is that Montgomery got beat up a little bit game one. Of course, Jameson Taillon in that first inning, got smacked around a little bit too, gave up 3 runs. Again, got himself together a little bit. But again, you are seeing some of these Yankee starters maybe showing little signs of getting tired a little bit. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then I guess maybe a little concerning, Joey Gallo down to under 170 now. Was 0 for 3 in that second game. And, after a while, he seemed like, a week or two ago that he was starting to hit the ball a little bit better, but now he kind of seems like this falls into these holes where you just don't hear from him for a while, and then he'll have 2 or 3 games where he does give you a little hope. So, a little concerning there as well for the Yankees. But again, a good, series sweep for the Yankees. The final game was the 24th comeback win of the season right now, and their record at 56-20 puts them on a pace right now, and that matches that. Not only the 2001 Mariners, but as well as those 1998 Yankees, which did something special that year, if you may recall. So the Yankees, good homestand overall, going 5-2. Again, those 2 losses against the Houston Astros, which a tough team. And in fact, while this was going on, Houston was playing at Citi Field during the season, actually swept the Mets. So just to go to show, New York fans want to compare the Mets and Yankees. Again, they're both having a fantastic season, but at least the Yankees are able to hold their own against Houston. Houston goes to Citi Field and sweeps the Mets there. So, whatever you want to take away from that. And the Yankees now are going to embark on a 10-game road trip. Interestingly enough, the first game now, if this road trip, is this going to be 1 game in Houston? Now, you remember at the beginning of the season, got pushed back a little bit because, the original schedule got lost a little bit just with the player lockout. So this is the way the schedule is going to break. They're going to play the 1 game on June 30th, the Thursday, and then later on in the month, July 21st, all in Houston, there'll be a doubleheader. So that's just going to make up the 3 games that were missed in April, and actually helped out the Yankees a little bit, just so the Yankees are almost able to open the season against Boston and Toronto. Again, just made it a little bit easier versus having to face Houston in that Minute Maid Park early in the season. Maybe it would have been give the Yankees a little tougher way to start the season. I think this team still would have been good, but in a way that was a little blessing and surprise. So that's the road trip. So there'll be the 1 game in Houston. Then from there, they'll play the Cleveland Guardians. Again, hope that Guardian fans don't pay the Yankee fans back by throwing beers and stuff at Judge and Stan, but we'll remain to see. And then some interleague action at Pittsburgh, and then close out the trip with a big 4-game series up at Fenway. Again, the first time playing at Fenway this season. And again, Boston's been on the rise a little bit, so it's not going to be as easy as we thought this matchup would be a month ago. So that's going to be interesting. And for the Yankees, Aroldis Chapman, who's been working his way back from the Achilles injury. Possibly the Yankees may make a move. It seems like this is the way it is right now. Most likely it's going to be Friday, July 1st when he comes back to the team. And it's going to be interesting how they handle the situation with Clay Holmes, who, again, since taking the job, Clay Holmes has been fabulous. Again, only blown that 1 save situation down in Tampa. That was the whole perfect game. But the Yankees ended up winning that game anyways. So it wasn't devastating. But we'll see how that gets handled from there. And again, in bringing up J.P. Sears in the second game, the Yankees had to send down Manny Banuelos. So he kind of came back from the Yankees after being originally drafted by the Yankees way back when, kind of floating around baseball a little bit. Yankees gave him an opportunity this season, came up to the majors, pitched relatively well. A lot of it was in junk time or when the Yankees had a big lead, but never was pitched well. But again, they needed to make the roster spot for J.P. Sears. So we'll see. What's the situation with Banuelos? Is that goodbye for him, or does he come back at some point, like they just did with Ryan Weber? So for the Yankees now, again, still running hot, best record in baseball, 56-20, but now go on to the road a little bit for a while on this little road trips, so they're going to be tested a little bit. And you got to see the pitchers now. You get this Boone and Matt Blake. I guess going to be mindful of the innings pitch limit because it's going to start catching up a little bit now. Because again, we're going to get into the dog days of summer. Yankees on this whole road trip, so not going to be easy. So we'll see how that all goes. So Section 420, Talking Yankees. Make sure you check out the podcast, subscribe, and get notified when new content comes out throughout the rest of the season. Over and out. We'll see you next time.